The Denver Broncos have confirmed to 9 News that longtime owner Pat Bowlen has Alzheimer's and that he will no longer be involved in team operations.
For almost half of his life, Pat Bowlen has owned the Denver Broncos. He is 70 years old. He has owned the Broncos for 30 of those 70 years. And as you mentioned, they have confirmed that he has Alzheimer's, something that has been speculated for a while. In fact, in 2011, he gave up his day-to-day operations to current team president Joe Ellis, who will now take on the title of CEO of the Denver Broncos. The Broncos did just release a full statement from Annabelle Bowlen, Pat's wife. We have read some of that statement earlier. Here's a little bit more, saying Alzheimer's has taken so much from Pat, but it will never take away his love for the Denver Broncos and his sincere appreciation for the fans. She goes on to say that on behalf of Pat and the rest of my family, I want to thank all Broncos fans for their overwhelming support and how respectful they continue to be of his privacy. We look forward to sharing many more successful seasons of Denver Broncos football with you. Operations, as far as ownership goes, of the Denver Broncos now going to a trust that is non-family owned. The hope that Pat and Annabelle have at some point is that one of their 7 children will take over this team.
For some perspective on Alzheimer's, we wanted to talk to 9 News medical expert Dr. John Torres. He's joining us on the phone. Dr. John Bowlen says he's focusing on his health right now. What might this be like for him and his family?
And, the important thing is exactly what he's doing, which is focusing on his health and the family helping him out, too. And I think that's something a lot of people oftentimes forget when it comes to Alzheimer's. It's not just the person affected by the Alzheimer's, but it's the entire family. And so what they're going through now is basically just, number one, the treatment. And, it sounds like they've known for a few years that he has Alzheimer's and is progressing, and they're doing what they can to stop that. But he got treatment early on, which is very, very important. And that means detecting it early on, which is important. And then just continuing with that treatment. And part of the treatment is talking to the family about what they can expect with this and how the memory's going to be lost there. The loved one might not recognize you sometimes. It might get to a point where they don't recognize you at all. And that's the thing that I think is probably the toughest on the family.
Pat Bowlen means so much to this community. It's hard to put into words how much he has meant not only to the Broncos, but the entire state and football fans everywhere. There are the numbers that tell part of the story. The 2 Super Bowl championships, the team's 6 AFC victories with him as owner, 300 team victories by his 30th year as ownership of the Broncos. There's the story of the many, many players over the years that left their mark on the league. Names like Elway, TD, Sharp, Mecklenburg, Atwater, and of course Manning. There's all the work he's done for the league, improving labor relations, TV contracts, fan experiences. But beyond that, there is the passion and energy that he always put toward the team. Pat Bowlen is the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos are a huge part of the city, state, and pro football in this country. And through it all, Pat Bowlen has led with quiet intelligence, confidence, passion, and pride. As the commissioner said overnight, this is truly a sad day for football fans for so many reasons.